What is going on, everybody? Today, I'm going to be ranking every single EX currently in the game. There are 17 now. That's crazy. There's 17 EXs in the game now, and I'm going to rank all of them in the order of trash, outdated, slightly outdated, mid, playable, and then, of course, the meta characters. But before we get into this, I just want to mention that at 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a 6EX account giveaway. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. I'm trying to hit that goal by the end of this month. And yeah, I'd really appreciate it. That's how you enter. Just subscribe, and I'll be sure to give that to one of you beautiful people. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
俺はルフィ海賊王になる男だ
So coming in at the 17th spot, the very last spot, you could probably have already guessed it, but I'm going to put Big Mom in trash. She is garbage nowadays, just beyond outdated. She never really got an update for any of the new metas after her. So she fell off heavily a long time ago and is just even worse. But moving on from her, I'm going to put Blackbeard in outdated. I'm sorry to all of my Blackbeard fans out there. I know there's a bunch of you. I hope he gets another EX. He really should. Especially after the 2-year skip, he should get that version of him put in the game. But he hasn't yet. So I'm just going to leave him in outdated for now. It's time to let go of him. There's a lot of new, better EXs out there. So yeah. After him, I'm gonna put Odin in also outdated. Um, he he's a green runner, which I mean, there's Kaido, obviously hybrid Kaido, just absolutely dominates the runner space, and Odin just gets outshined by so many new runners nowadays. Um, Kind of like Blackbeard, he doesn't really fit in anymore. He was a really good character when he came out. Don't get me wrong, he had some really strong abilities that were new to the game, but now tons of runners have them, and he got outdated from that. But after him, I'm gonna put the OG version of Yamato and slightly outdated. Now, I do still actually see her played uh, nowadays a little less now that it's 4.5 Annie, and there's a ton of new characters coming from that. But she is still played, and she is still a little bit playable. She's iffy. Like, it really depends on the person that's playing her. But a lot of the characters nowadays, a lot of the AXs just outshine her completely, just dominate her with their skills. But I'm just gonna leave her there for now. I might change it after, put her in like mid, maybe, but we'll see. But after her, I'm gonna put Roger in. Let's see. I'm gonna put him in mid. I'm gonna put Roger in mid. I see him played more than OG Yamato. I'm really sorry to my OG Yamato fans out there too, because I know there's a good amount of people that still play her and disagree completely, but she's just outshined by the meta. So anyway, Goldie Roger, he's played more than Yamato, I'd say for sure. Had a couple of rebanners. He's really cheap for an EX nowadays, which I really like. And I mean, he still has that like one shot capability, which can do something. I'm not gonna fully put him in playable yet because that's reserved for certain characters that I think are playable where the game is right now. Obviously, Gear 5 is dominating the game right now, so got to take that into consideration. I'm gonna leave Goldie Roger in mid. After that, I'm gonna put the hybrid Yamato in mid as well, just above Roger. Um, she was a really good character when she came out, but she was never even top three, not even top five in my opinion. Hybrid Yamato, she had that shield which was pretty solid. Was able to counter certain characters, but just never really got to shine with like some crazy ability. It was just a shield that would get knocked off, and then it was just her HP bar, which she had nothing special to do with that. She just had a shield. So I'm gonna put her in mid, not too playable in this meta, I'd say. But moving on from that, I'm gonna put the OG version of Kaido also in mid, just above Hybrid Yamato. Um, like he's an okay defender. He just he's fairly cheap too. He's like Roger. He's been out for a good while. His price has definitely dropped. I wish they would drop him again, so that more people would actually play him. Because I love his character. OG Kaido is a great character, but I don't want to put him in playable. I still see him occasionally nowadays, but certain abilities as a defender, he just gets outshined. Like even like Akainu, EX Akainu can kind of just outshine him. Even though Akainu isn't a defender, he also has those skills that can be considered defensive, so he can keep the flags. But all right, moving on from Kaido, I'm gonna put Shanks also in mid. Also in mid. That's a debatable one. Um, you possibly can say he's playable. This is the blue version of Shanks, by the way, the Four Emperors. He did no. Okay, I'm gonna keep him in mid because he did get his update and he became a top character again. But then like fourth anniversary, 4.5 anniversary happened. So I'm gonna leave him in mid. People that play him just got to get over him. Like yeah, he's a solid character. I mean, he's above all of these EXs, but he's not that top tier character like he once was back on first anniversary. Solid skills. I don't know. He's pretty in the middle, I'd say, for EXs in the game right now. But after him, I'm gonna put a Kainu. Let's see. I'm gonna put a Kainu in playable. Yeah, I'm gonna put a Kainu in playable. Uh, kind of like Kaido. He's not a defender. He's a full attacker, and he does really good damage, like insane damage. And he has that one skill that is just able to act as like a defender skill, and it does really good damage. He deals damage over time, which I mean is pretty essential for the meta right now. Like that's how you kill some of the certain meta characters. Um, I don't think Gear 5 Luffy actually gets affected by that. I'm not sure. Don't fact check me. He might. Maybe he does. Anyway, I'll put him in playable for now. Um, I might switch Shanks and Akainu later, but we'll see. But then we got, yes, the first EX Luffy. Okay, he is definitely playable. He is one of the easiest characters to play in this game. One of the easiest characters of all time, EX or non EX. You could just tap his skills, hold his skills, and he just does crazy damage. Um, and even with the the new version of him coming out, I'd still say he's playable. He's up there. He has the attacker aspect with Bounce Man, and then he also has the runner aspect with Snake Man, obviously. And when he taps them the first time, he could just get that one shot kill if he has the right buffs and whatever. So I'd say he's definitely playable. He's still a really easy character to play nowadays. Um, I would say I suggest getting him, but like he never got a guarantee copy of him, so he's just I don't know. He's an interesting character. Anyway, after him, I'm gonna put Zephyr in Playable. He's a very solid character. He is a green defender. Um, has some solid skills, some good one shot capabilities. Not quite as easy to play as EX Luffy, the original EX Luffy, but either way, he's still a really strong character. He's a really good defender. Uh, Better than like a Kainu could be, or the original Kaido. Um, he just has the capabilities of a defender in the new age that like Blue Kaido didn't have because he came out before. But moving on from him, I'm gonna put let's see, I'm gonna put Zoro. Mm, hmm. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna put Zoro in meta. Typically, I would put him in playable, but with what's going on right now with Gear 5 Luffy, I feel like I have to put him in meta just because he is pretty much the one answer to Gear 5 Luffy. And if you don't have him, if you don't have Zoro or Gear 5 Luffy right now, best of luck. Because if nobody has either of these characters on your team, good luck. The other team, yeah, they're going to dominate. Because Zoro just has the skills to absolutely counter Gear 5 Luffy. It's disgusting, but it's what the game needs. I wish there was more characters that could actually counter Gear 5 Luffy, but there isn't. So after him, I'm going to go ahead and take Shanks, put him in meta. Um, hmm, this is interesting. Do I put Shanks above Zoro in this meta? If I go down here, you know what? I'm going to put Zoro above Shanks currently in the game, where we are right now in 4.5 Annie. I'm going to put Zoro above Shanks just because of his ability to counter Luffy and also low key be able to counter Shanks. I mean, Shanks is getting shit on nowadays. We gotta be real. He's actually getting shit on by the cards that are actually able to counter Luffy. Shanks just gets dominated being that green character and everybody's countering. Um, so I'm going to put him actually below Zoro. Still a really strong attacker, still definitely meta, but he does have some drawbacks being that attacker, and I'm just going to put him below Zoro. Next, I have Kaido. I'm going to put him above Zoro. Very good runner. Actually, the best runner in the game. Had to make sure I was. No, not the best runner in the game. Second best runner in the game. Um, Came out last year around this time, obviously, and he's a really good character. Really strong runner, obviously, top three. Um, he has that ability where he's able to land on treasure and just take it. He's able to land on treasure, knock everybody off of it, and just take it as a runner, the furthest treasure from him. That ability was broken when it came out, and it's still broken to this day. He is still a meta character without a doubt. Wish I had him on my account, but I don't, unfortunately. But after him, I'm going to put Big Mom just above him. Not at the number one spot. He's not at the number one spot now, but Big Mom. She has invincibility skills. She's able to take treasure while people are still on it, whether they're knocked down or not. Yeah, she deals crazy damage, and she's able to go from a runner to attacker, or I mean defender to runner and runner to defender, just based on her skills. She's able to switch. Um, oh god, but those invincibility skills that she introduced was just broken for OPBR, just broken. I remember before 4.5 Annie, it was just Big Mom, Kaido, Zoro, and Shanks. That was it. This was the meta pre 4.5 Annie. But now moving on from that, we have Kid and Law. One of the few, very few counters to Big Mom. They are both runners, which is nice. I like playing runners. Um, and they have the skills to actually kill Big Mom. Kid's skill, when he does it on a flag, it's like a defender skill. It does massive damage and it's so wide. It's a map wide skill. And it could just one shot whoever, whenever. And this card introduced the 2 health bar feature of the game, where Kid has a health bar and Law has a health bar. And you can switch between them just by holding the attack button. That is a crazy skill to have in this game. Because you basically have Oni Law and Oni Kid just in one character with skills that are far more broken than either of them even had. So they're the counter to Big Mom, and that just puts them, above her. But for the number one character, EX and character in One Piece Bounty Rush, it's Gear 5 Luffy. It's Gear 5 Luffy. Like there there's no competition to this man besides EX Zoro, which I mean the only reason why he's above Shanks in the meta is because he counters Gear 5 Luffy. If he didn't have that trait, he'd be under Shanks and might even be in Playable instead of meta. Nowadays at least. But Gear 5's intro Gear 5 Luffy's introduction to the game was so game breaking. The servers are crashing, whatever, everybody was hype over it. But just that sheer amount of people being able to play Gear 5 Luffy in the game, if it's a new person, if it's a re-roller, you see him everywhere. You will run into teams of 4 of him. You'll have a team of 4 of him. And it's just no competition unless it's a team of Gear 5 Luffy's against a team of EX Zoros. He can't lose. Like, let's talk about some of his skills and traits. He he's a green, and he switches between runner, defender, and attacker just based on what you're doing in the game. There's nothing you have to click. It's just based on what you have to do in the game. He might be easier to play than the original EX Gear 4 Luffy. It's that crazy. He could just switch to whatever based on whatever he's doing. A defender if he's guarding treasure, a runner if he's taking treasure, and an attacker if he's attacking. But his skills, especially Bajra Gun, of course, has crazy damage. You can only use it once. Luckily, once per life. So if you die, you can use it again. But once per life, it is almost guaranteed to one shot anything in the game. Crazy skill, crazy defender skill, or runner skill for that, or attacker at this point. It's a skill for everything. It's so multi-purpose. His lightning attack has invincibility and shocks, so he can stun people and then use Bajra Gun, and it's just a guaranteed kill. He's not really known as like mainly an attacker in the game. He more so dominates just defending flags, not dying, and that's kind of what carries him to this top spot. but he does have that one shot capability if he needs to use it. And he is my number one EX in One Piece Bounty Rush. So be sure to like the video, comment what you think of the list. Maybe if you'd switch Zoro and Shanks or Shanks and Kaido, just let me know. And be sure to subscribe. And I'll see all y'all later. Peace.